Hey guys, now that Rachel and I have officially graduated our fertility clinic, we thought we'd do a special vlog on... Dang it! Our IVF costs. There goes all my money.
Just as a disclaimer, obviously every IVF process for different couples is going to be different. So this is our specific situation and it pertains to male factor infertility only. No problems with me whatsoever, and so that's going to vary depending on where the infertility is coming from, and also based on what insurance you have, if you have insurance at all. Some insurances are better than ours and some are much worse. So keep that in mind as you watch this video, but this will give you an idea because we talk about the 100% out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah, so we're talking about straight cash payment, no insurance included with what figures we're going to give you right now. And also, having to pay to have a child is like... Our first office visit, we met with the doctor, kind of went over some of our options, and that was $255 just for the consultation. In addition to the consultation, they ran some initial testing. So for me, they did a semen analysis, which was $90. Rachel had...
a wellness ultrasound. Just like a baseline.
Which was $243. And then we both had to get our blood test. They screened for things like hepatitis,
HIV, who knows?
Yeah, we didn't.
Well, my blood test also checked my like hormone levels on like at the beginning of my cycle. So his, they could just do anytime, which you had to go back for multiple blood draws because they kept forgetting like one of the items they were supposed to be testing for.
It was like really specific what they were looking for.
And then for me, I guess they just combined all of mine into my initial blood work that gave them my baseline hormone levels.
Yeah.
So mine had to be done specifically on one of the first couple of days of my cycle.
And so for each of us to get our blood work done was $437
What?
Each. $437 each.
I did not know that.
For the blood work.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and then so all those results came back and we were like, we're good to go so far for our IVF. So Rachel had to get a procedure done. A hysterosalpingogram.
Pingogram. Hysterosalpingogram.
However you say it, it was $950.
Yeah, and that's pretty standard. I think pretty much everybody, this is the confusing thing too, because when you do IVF, you bypass the need for fallopian tubes. But you have to have a HSG to make sure your fallopian tubes are clear and open.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it like makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, what the heck?
I think an HSG can pick up a few other problems, like fibroids maybe.
Polyps.
But I
feel like you hear that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, whatever.
Huh.
We didn't have to pay for it.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Everything was good to go after that point. And so we're just gonna lump all of our medications into one pot.
One total.
Right.
Even though you frequently during IVF will like run out of a medication and have to hurry up and overnight it to like get there in time during your stimulation phase. So we ended up reordering meds
multiple
like
times.
5 or 6 times.
Yeah, especially the progesterone and estradiol.
Yeah, hopefully you become pregnant and then you have to, you know, keep on those for several weeks, so you end up having to get more.
Right.
But,
well, and we qualified for a 25% cash discount. So this is the 25% cash discount.
That's true.
Since we paid cash. Hey, Iris.
Iris prefers to be in front of the camera.
So the medication total for us was $3,598. And like I said, we just lumped everything together with that. Next was the big one. It was the egg retrieval. We had to pay for ICSI because they selected single sperm, and also for the embryo transfer.
I didn't realize part of that was we had to pay the embryologist. There were like 3 different things that were all over $3,000, and it was the egg retrieval, the embryology fee to like pay the embryologist to babysit our embryos and grow them. And I think ICSI was combined into that. And then the transfer. So even if you don't have to do ICSI, I think it's gonna be close to this figure.
Yeah, I don't think it's much different.
Right.
Which was $11,721. And that didn't include the $400 check that we had to write the day of the egg retrieval straight to the
I
anesthesiologist.
totally forgot about that.
Me too, I didn't even put it on our paper.
Okay, we'll have to add that into our total.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how much each of these things cost. Considering the transfer, okay, I get that the transfer along with the egg retrieval is probably one of the most highly qualified procedures that are being done. So you're gonna need a doctor that knows what the heck they're doing. But the transfer took all of 4 minutes and cost us like $3,500.
Yeah.
So if our transfer didn't work, we would have had to pay another like $3,500 to have another transfer done. I also think it's crazy that the embryologist, like the embryology fee was over $3,000. I mean, and considering they get paid so much, I would have expected like more phone calls, timelier phone calls. If you've been through IVF, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The wait to hear how your embryos are doing was the worst wait of the entire process.
Really?
I think it was worse than waiting to do the pregnancy test.
Really?
It was horrible. Like, because each day you're waiting and you may get a phone call that like none of your embryos have survived the night. So not only were the phone calls very spread out and very few, when I finally did get a phone call, one of them, like the guy was speaking so fast I could hardly understand him, and I was on the phone with him for a total of like 20 seconds and totally forgot all of the questions that I was gonna have for him. I don't know. For how much they're getting paid, I would think that they would be more prompt with their phone calls and give you more information.
I'm sure some of them are good.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think in the IVF groups I'm in on Facebook, everybody seems to feel the same way about their embryo updates.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
So speaking of embryos, our next charge was actually to freeze the embryos. So we had to do a frozen transfer. The freezing of the embryos was $500. And then we had to pay to store the embryos.
Oh, that was different?
Yeah. So there was an embryo freeze and then an embryo store. The freeze was $500, the store was $100.
So during the stimulation phase on the medications, I have to be monitored for what my hormone levels are doing via blood work and what my follicles look like via ultrasound. So every other day and towards the end, every day I would have to get at least blood work and possibly an ultrasound, most of the time both. So that would have been very expensive if we were paying out of pocket. Every time I got blood work, it was
$176.
And every time I got an ultrasound,
it was $170. And you got 6 ultrasounds, which was $1,020, 7 blood monitoring occurrences, which was $1,232.
Right.
And then after you were officially pregnant, you had 3 OB ultrasounds.
Right.
Which were $243 per ultrasound for a total of $729.
Yeah, OB ultrasounds are more expensive, and it was interesting if you're able to file insurance at all and you need like referrals for this type of thing, the ultrasounds that you're getting during the monitoring phases of IVF are different than the ultrasounds you get once you are officially pregnant, and you need a new referral to have an OB ultrasound done. And we learned that like on the spot.
Yeah, right.
So every time they tell you like, hey, you're gonna need a referral, it's like, or you're gonna pay out of pocket, follows it, but they don't really say that.
Yeah.
But they heavily imply it.
Exactly. And then also to be officially pregnant, so you had to get 2 beta tests, which equaled $98 total.
Those were the best.
Yeah.
Although I will, if you're going through this and you haven't done it yet, you would think that the first beta is the most nerve-wracking. Not the case if you're testing at home beforehand and you already know you're pregnant. The first one has absolutely no impact on you. Get ready for waiting for that second beta. Holy moly. That second beta wait might have been worse than waiting for the embryologist. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those were bad.
Drum roll, please. For a total of $21,810. Gosh, babe, just think, what could we have done for $22,000?
Well, we could have had a really awesome nursery.
Yeah, or...
We still will. We could have gone to Europe twice.
At least.
Like a cushy Europe vacation 2 times.
Yeah, some pretty nice cruises we could have gone on.
Yeah, like 10 cruises. We could have had a brand new...
Ford Focus.
fully loaded. With a backup camera.
Oh gosh. She really liked that one.
That's so true though.
I know.
Oh, like a Kia.
Gosh.
We're $20 grand.
We could have had a nice used boat.
We could have had a real giraffe.
Yeah. Could have bought a real giraffe. All right.
We could have redone our kitchen.
What's wrong with our kitchen?
Nothing.
Oh.
We could have added another bathroom in our house.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Could have added another.
Everything's gonna pale in comparison to the brand new Ford Focus.
Could be driving a Focus. Right
That's funny.
no offense to you, Ford Focus.
Yeah, no,
drivers.
no
My dad
offense,
drove
no.
a Focus for like 10
They're
years.
a great car, very reliable.
American made. $22,000 is a small price to pay for our 2 precious babies that we're gonna have here in about 7 months.
Absolutely true.
We would do it 10 times over again.
Should we make a joke about buy one, get one free?
Yeah.
If you can get your embryos to slow down during their development so that your doctor feels like he needs to implant 2 to increase your pregnancy rates,
Seriously.
you're gonna get 2 babies for that 22 grand.
Yeah, implant 2.
We are so excited. We've only known that these babies are in existence for, well, I'm 10 weeks pregnant and it was about 4 weeks along when we found out. And in those 6 weeks, I can't believe how much I love them already.
Yeah, it's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah, totally worth it. Sorry that you're watching this because it probably means you're in the IVF boat and it's difficult. It's very, very difficult at times financially, emotionally, physically. It's just very hard, but we're a tough crowd.
So we're Dave Ramsey followers, and there was a caller that called into Dave Ramsey and asked him if they should take out a loan to do IVF. And he was like, no way. And we could definitely attest, that's a horrible idea.
It is a horrible idea, but I understand, like, I mean, we were very blessed that financially we were able to afford to pay for it as we went. If that weren't the case, there's no way we wouldn't have done it. We would have found a way to make it work.
Yeah.
So
Well, with that being said, there's some resources that are out there, like Compassionate Care. You could qualify for like 75% off the meds.
there are certain insurances that do cover IVF. There are certain states that have programs in place that will give you a huge allowance towards IVF, Illinois being one of them. I'm not sure the details on it. There are clinics that do a lot of cycles of IVF, like the one in New York. It's called CNY. You can Google it, and a whole cycle of IVF, I think if you pay up front, including meds, is like $4,200.
That's nice.
So
there's also like the Attain program, which was basically you are guaranteed to take home a baby. If not, you get a refund.
it was a little bit more expensive. You're paying basically for insurance. There's also a few places that will hire, that provide insurance that has like an infertility
Like allowance.
One of them
Benefit.
is Starbucks. I think you have to work there like full time for a certain amount of months before it kicks in. BuzzFeed
Yeah.
is another one. I'm sure like these progressive companies like Google and who knows what else, but if you research it and you can land a job at one of these places, that would be one way to do it.
Yeah, huge benefit.
I know a lot of families and friends will support people that are just really wanting a baby. If there's no way you can do it financially, then I mean, there's always GoFundMe and like crowdsourcing pages, and I think people, family and friends are more than willing to help people out. So
Yeah,
try to do that before you take out a loan or max out credit cards. Those are gonna be the worst options with the interest rates and what you're gonna end up paying long term. Try to hustle and maybe sell like t-shirts or sell something that you can craft so that people aren't just like making a free donation to you, they're getting something out of it too. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Best of luck. It's definitely all worth it.
I'm always praying for anybody who's going through infertility in general, but especially those that are following our channel that are going through this.
Yeah.
I pray for you guys every single day. So keep your head up and just look at the happy endings that happen all around you and use that as your hope to keep going.
If you want to follow us on our journey, hit the subscribe button. We try to get out, 2 or 3 vlogs per week.
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty consistent with 3 a week.
Right, and Rachel's doing her bump updates once a week. And I can't wait to put the montage together of your belly growing. It's gonna be so awesome.
Brad has me dancing around in a bikini for a few seconds each week, and he's videoing it and gonna put it together.
It's gonna be...
I feel like a total idiot when I'm standing there dancing in a bikini.
But she's absolutely gorgeous, and it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, well thanks.
If she lets me post it.
Yeah, we'll see. That's not a guaranteed thing. But subscribe just in case.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. What's wrong with our kitchen?
Nothing.
$1,810. That's how we feel. Hey, Iris. Or, I mean, that you would have to... What am I saying? All right.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.